Okay, I'm fitting the new belts and tensioners and idlers to the twin spark engine now. I've taken all the old belts off, the old tensioner, the old idler, taken out the plugs, set it at top dead centre, lock the cams in place, and if you're doing this, do not use the existing screws that hold the camshaft bearing caps on. Buy ones that are longer that will suit. Now you need M7 by 1mm pitch, and these are 50mm long. Also clean out the holes, make sure they're nice and clean inside before you screw these in, and don't wind them in with a nut runner, but put them in very carefully by hand at first. Start the threads, make sure, and then put them in by hand. You do not want to damage these threads, and they're very easy to damage. But if you've got nice long screws, you can lock the cam in place, and that'd be good enough to take this variator out, which you need a special tool for. And if you need to know what that is, a variator, you buy that. That's a Sealy one. I think it cost me about 8 or 9 quid off eBay. Anyway, not big money to get the right tool for the job. Okay, new parts. I got these from Shop for Parts. That's the Cambelt kit, SKF, and a Dayco balancer shaft kit. Balancer shaft kit comprises of the belt and a tensioner. The SKF Cambelt kit comprises of a tensioner, the belt, and an idler. So that's, I'm not changing the water pump, that's in good order. You know, there's a limit to how much I want to spend on this. I'll keep an eye on it. If it's stuck, they don't normally go wrong. So this little lot was £117 delivered from Shop for Parts, so I'm quite impressed. You know, good prices, quick delivery, very efficient. So I'll crack on and fit all these components back onto the engine. Right, I've got the new belts, tensioners and everything back onto the car now. So it all looks very nice and clean and fresh, just how I like to see it. It's very satisfying putting new parts on. Bearing caps are back on, and just need to turn the engine over a couple of times now. Check the tension again, because the belts are not quite aligned. So once that's done, I can refit all the covers and other ancillaries and give it a run. That'd be good. A couple of other faults that I've sorted out on the Spider's electrical side is the two roof latch solenoids. I don't know why. They were still energizing, but they were kind of seized up and not through corrosion. I couldn't see any corrosion in there. They've just become tight, and the solenoids wouldn't move in and out the coils, so God knows what's happened to that. But anyway, I bought a couple of second-hand ones off eBay. These are the ones that came off the car. The second-hand ones have gone on. The instrument cluster, the rev counter wasn't working. I took that apart, tried to fix it, clean connections, put it back on, no difference. So I bought a new instrument cluster, cost me £60, put it on the car, works fine. However, the mileage, which is 96,000 on this one, it now says 108. So I have two choices. I can leave it as it is and just say this is a documented clock change with a 12,000 mile increase in mileage. It's not really that important on such an old car. Or I can try and get it corrected. Now, I don't know how much that's going to cost, but I tend to think it will be expensive and not really worth it. So if I can show, I've taken photos of the old dash, which is this one, and the new one, showing the difference. I can, any new owner can see what I've done. Anyway, there's a few more snags to sort out, but that's two more dealt with. Okay, I'm going to diagnose or try to fix the problem with the wiper motor on the Alfa Spider. It doesn't work at all, no matter what you do with the controls. Now, I know the car side of it's fine because I've taken the wiper motor assembly out of my GTV, put it in, and it all works fine. So the problem lies with the motor. Now I know the motor itself works because I put a bit of power on it and I got it to move, so I know that that's not dead. But what is usually the problem is the control box. There's some, I haven't taken it apart yet, but there's a control box here, and you have to take the motor off this assembly. There is this part here connects to that. You'll probably need one of those to get it off because it's on pretty tight. 3 bolts, 3 screws, and release it from the wiper arm assembly. The next thing to do is to unsolder these 3 connections on there, and I've got the soldering iron on the go, just warming it up. So I'll unsolder those joints and then we'll have a look at it and see what we find inside. Okay, I've unsoldered the 3 connections using a soldering iron and compressed air to blow away the solder once it was hot. Also, that would help save heat travelling into areas we don't want it to go to. I've already cleaned up the 3 wipers here and the commutator, or whatever you want to call it, this area here. There was a lot of grease on it. There was a lot of quite dry, lumpy grease around these contacts. So I've cleaned them up. I've used contact cleaning spray on the wipers, and then on here I've just used a tissue. And there was quite a lot of rather hard, dry, past its sell-by type of grease on there, which I've just picked out of the corners with this screwdriver, and it's still on the cover because some of this grease is not very greasy, it's kind of dry and hard, and that I think is the problem. The research I've done suggests that. So I'm going to continue to clean this up, re-grease it, and then reassemble it. Well, I put the motor back on the car, connected it up, doesn't work at all. So taking it off again, I've tested it on the bench, and I know that the motor works on both speeds, so it has to be this control board. I popped the cover off and had a look around, and guess what I found? Just there between this pin, this connection here, which is the main one, and just there, do it with a screwdriver so you can see that connection there. There's no continuity between that pin and the PCB. That joint is broken, in actual fact. You can push it up and down and it moves. So that's the fault, pretty sure. Okay, I've resoldered that joint, making sure to press the board down onto that pin while soldering it so that it's fully in position. As far as I can see, there is no other fixing for the board in this location, which, considering what this has to go through, temperature extremes, vibration and so on, moisture, I don't think that's a particularly good bit of design on behalf of Valeo, and I would have liked to have seen at least one, possibly 2 fixings or restraints in this location to make sure the board doesn't move. So I imagine that's probably not an uncommon fault. If your wipers stop working, it's possibly just that. Okay, I've tested the motor on the car, connected it up to the car, everything works properly, so it's just a question of mounting it back in the frame and reassembling the frame back into the car. I did attempt to mark the position of this on the arm, but it's a bit difficult to do, probably didn't do a good enough job. However, I do have the complete assembly that's out of the GTV, so I'll just match it up to that. Okay, that's the end of this little particular job, and I'll probably end this video around about here. The next stage will be to try and sort out the supplementary restraint system, the seat belt pretensioners. There's a fault in the circuit there. I've got an airbag light up. So also the mass airflow sensor seems to be not doing a very good job. I've got a fault code on that as well. I'll put the multi-ECU scan on the car a couple of days ago, and that's what it came up with. So nearly there, but a little bit more to do. Okay, thanks for watching.